the first 90 days of the year, no alcohol, and phone off by 8:30 at night, in bed by 9 o'clock.
Nice.
And game changer. I'm up at 4:45. I'm in the gym by 5:30, and I'm in the office much earlier this year. I'm committed to doing it for 90 days. It's hard for me to commit to something for an entire year.
Yeah.
But I'm like, let me just do it for 90 days, and I know if it's for me, I'll do it. It's the same thing with the no drinking.
Yep.
Well, I committed to no drinking last year for 14 days, and then I was like, oh, this is really cool. I did 75, then I did another 100.
Yeah.
And then this year, I'm going to start the year with another 90.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And now you've proven to yourself that you can do it, and you have seen the results. So I think it's like just more motivating to go back, you know?
All right, guys, welcome to another episode of The Report. First Saturday edition of 2025. And I got my favorite co-host. I got Miss Alex Johnson. Alex, welcome to the show and Happy New Year.
Thank you. Happy New Year. Are we still allowed to say that? What's the cutoff?
I've been saying it this whole week. I'm at the gym. I'm like seeing people. I'm like, hey, what's up, Max? Happy New Year. How you doing? I'm in the elevator at my place. Happy New Year.
Yeah. We still got, I think, like maybe through this week, maybe next week.
I'm going to say it for the whole month.
Okay.
For the whole month. If it's the first time seeing someone for this year, I'm going to say, hey, Happy New Year.
That's fair. I like that.
Wishing you nothing but the best health, the best success, all that good stuff. And speaking of New Year, I know we took a couple weeks off out of the office. Everything in the commercial real estate space kind of shuts down a little bit. So we always take a couple weeks off out of the office during the holidays. How was your break? What did you do? I know you were moving around a little bit.
Yeah, it was good. I went out to Arizona for a little bit. My parents live out there. They're kind of near Tucson.
Saw Mama and Papa John's.
How
are they?
They're great. Great. Living it up. Retired. Golfing. All the things. So good to see them. Bopped over to Scottsdale for a day. Saw some friends there. And then I visited my cousin out in Colorado. She's in Colorado Springs with her family. And so it was just nice to spend some good family time with her and see her kids. And it was great. It was a great break.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
How was yours? How was Australia?
Oh man, Australia was amazing. I think it was my first trip of the entire year. I did a couple weekend trips here and there, but I never took a trip all of 2024. So I got to go to Australia. Did 2 weeks, went to the Great Barrier Reef up in Cairns. It was amazing. Super sick to see. Did a helicopter tour up there, and then we went down to Gold Coast. Went down to Byron Bay. Byron Bay was probably the highlight of the trip. I had never been to Byron Bay before. Never even intended to go there during the trip, but so many people were like, you got to go to Byron Bay. And it was like this really cool beach town just south of Gold Coast. Really cool hiking. Everything's in the water. Very chill vibes. And then down in Sydney, hung out down in Sydney for about 5-6 days before coming home. And it was nice. I think my biggest takeaway of the trip was in Australia, anywhere you go, no homeless, no crime, no trash on the streets.
Wow.
And you don't even see police, literally. Huh. It was very interesting, but just the nicest people you ever meet. You think people are friendly here in San Diego. It's a whole nother level out there. The nicest, I remember telling Presley, I'm like, after every encounter with anyone we talked to that was a local, I was like, oh my gosh, the nicest person ever. I didn't know that was possible, but yeah, very cool. But I looked it up. I was curious about the stat. So I looked it up when I got back. You don't see any police there. You don't see any homeless. You don't see any crime. The USA spends, this is in terms of budget on the police department. The USA spends about $135 billion per year on the police department. Australia spends $1.7 billion, so about 1% of our police budget. And over the year, you see homeless everywhere. You see encampments. You got crime. You got police cars everywhere, especially these downtown areas, and especially in the liberal areas. It's gotten really bad. And so it's interesting to see they spend 1% of the budget on police department, and they don't have any of those issues. And then the homeless. I didn't see any homeless over there. Zero panhandling, zero homeless. And then you come back here and you see it all over. There's people walking around the streets with their no pants on, what is going on? Sometimes it's a zombie apocalypse, depending on where you are, downtown LA, downtown San Francisco. But anyhow, so I looked it up, the budget for homeless. The USA spends about $10 billion a year towards homeless, and Australia spends $400 million a year, about 4% of our budget. It's crazy to think about, right?
Yeah, that's crazy.
So just think about taxpayer dollars, where the taxpayer dollars are going, and the inefficiencies baked in there, and then throw in where they're spending the money. And look at the fires that are going on in LA, and God bless all the folks up there. I know some people personally that have been affected by the fires. I'm sure you know some people personally, but yeah, our hearts go out to them. But think about some of the inefficiencies there, and in terms of like where the government's spending money, and that sort of thing. I know there's definitely some a lot of finger pointing going on with the fires up there. But I just hope that the people stay safe, and we can save as many homes as possible.
Yeah, those are crazy statistics to think about, but it really makes you think like, where is this money getting spent? And I think, yeah, with the fires, I mean, there's so much going on, and thinking about everyone up there. But yeah, a lot of cutting budgets, putting them elsewhere. I'm sure everyone's kind of seen what's going on and all that, but it's crazy to think about. And we just have this, obviously, multiple problems, especially in California, with like the homeless, and then I don't know what's going on with all that, but yeah, it's interesting to see. Those are some crazy numbers.
Yeah, a lot of, when we're talking two things, money and government, they don't mesh well. It's good together. I did 11 years as an air traffic controller. That's FAA, Federal Administration, Navy, Federal. What is it? Aviation Administration. That's what it is. It's been too long. But anyhow, I saw firsthand how they spend their money, and there are so many holes and efficiencies on how they spend their budget. And so, I just think that all in all, there's a lot of issues with government spending, and unfortunately, that's taxpayer dollars that are not being spent on the things that they should be spent on. And talk about $135 billion budget towards the police force, and $10 billion towards the homeless, and we got one of the, talk about crime and homeless and all the stuff that's going on. So anyhow, I wish nothing but the best for the folks up in LA and the fires. But anyways, let's jump into the show today. I'm very excited for today's show. I'm very excited for a big 2025. What are you going to say no to this year? I think when it comes time to goal setting, as a new year, and obviously, you need new habits if you're going to have some sort of change in a new year. And so I know I spent a couple weeks reflecting on 2024, some of the wins, some of the learning lessons. And I know this year I'm very clear on some of the moves that I want to make and some of the changes that I'm going to be making. I think one of the first things I'm doing is I committed to the first 90 days of the year, no alcohol, and phone off by 8:30 at night, in bed by 9 o'clock.
Nice.
And game changer. I'm up at 4:45. I'm in the gym by 5:30, and I'm in the office much earlier this year. I'm committed to doing it for 90 days. It's hard for me to commit to something for an entire year.
Yeah.
But I'm like, let me just do it for 90 days, and I know if it's for me, I'll do it. It's the same thing with the no drinking.
Yep.
Well, I committed to no drinking last year for 14 days, and then I was like, oh, this is really cool. I did 75, then I did another 100.
Yeah.
And then this year, I'm going to start the year with another 90.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And now you've proven to yourself that you can do it, and you have seen the results. So I think it's like just more motivating to go back, I'm doing dry January. I started on Sunday though. So I'm like day 6. But I'm
good for you. Dry January. I love that.
I'm at least going to do 30 days. We'll kind of see after that, but I'm excited to just kind of see how I feel. I've always been like a morning gym goer, so I have kind of already had that in my routine, but just to see like my sleep get better, my energy levels and all of that, I'm just excited to see. I think there's a lot going on in December, the holidays, like all that, and it's kind of nice to enjoy it, but I'm ready to get back and just to kind of like see how far I can push myself.
Have you ever done a 30-day cleanse like that?
I'm trying to remember. I don't think I've done 30 days. Maybe like once a long time ago. I've done a couple of weeks before, maybe dry January once, but not in a while. And it's something I've been thinking about for a while. I think I've been hearing and seeing a lot of people that are like cutting out alcohol and just seeing amazing results.
It's the new flex.
Yeah. And I think for so long, it's just kind of the default to drink. And I know that you kind of touched on before, like some limiting beliefs as far as like going out or being social.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the things for me. I like to be social. I like to do things with friends. But I think that now there's also so many like, not only like wellness events or like you go to the gym or like you can still be out and social. Like just because you're not drinking, you don't have to stay home and be a hermit. So I think that's one thing I'm trying to like reframe my thinking on because, I still want to live my life and do things. So I'm excited for it. But
totally. And you'll notice like what I noticed is like your face will really lean out.
Yeah.
When you're like drinking, like people that drink
like
a lot,
puffy.
their faces are all puffy. That's the first thing you'll notice. And I even see photos of myself from like before I started the no drinking stuff. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't recognize my face. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's and then you like think it's normal. You're like, this is how I look. So I'm excited to see not only like physical changes, but just kind of like emotional and mental changes as well. Just like with, sleeping better and energy and all that. So I'm excited to see the results.
Hey guys, happy 2025. I am so excited for the new year. If you are a busy professional and looking for passive income and tax benefits, my company, Summers Capital, has a real estate fund where we are buying boutique hotels. We do everything from sourcing the deals, renovating all the properties, and even handling all the day-to-day operations, making it truly hands-off for our investors. If you want to learn more to see if we can help you this year, go to summerscapital.com/invest to book a free call with my team. Again, it's summerscapital.com/invest to book a free call with my team. Now let's jump back into the show.
That's good. So 90 days for me, no drinking. Phone's off by 8:30, in bed by 9, and I'm waking up early. It's not always setting an alarm to wake up, but it's setting an alarm to like go to bed.
Yeah. Have you been falling asleep pretty easily, or like are you? First of all, are you still thrown off timing wise from Australia?
I was for like a day.
Yeah.
But the rest of the week, this entire week, it's like I sleep great. I sleep throughout the whole night, and I fall asleep right away at 9 o'clock, like right away.
It's been a busy week too, so that's helped.
Yeah, it's great. And so I think the main thing is devices off 8:30, get a book in bed, and then I'll start reading, and then I'm out. And then,
I think reading too helps you. Yeah. Like sometimes it's like puts you to sleep rather than scrolling on your phone.
Totally. Yeah. And then waking up at 8:45 with 8 hours of sleep, feeling fresh. There's no better feeling.
4:45.
I'm sorry. What did I say? 8:45.
8:45. Yeah.
4:45. Feeling fresh. Gym at 5:30. I'm out of there by 6:30. It's still dark outside. Yeah. I got the lift in. Feeling good. And then another thing I committed to was 10% body fat.
Yep.
So excited for that. And
got
then
all
obviously
the protein snacks in the office. All the high protein snacks.
All the high protein snacks. The Greek yogurt. What else we got?
We got the chomps. They're like little like beef sticks. Those are pretty good. Protein shakes.
Yes.
All the good stuff.
Calorie deficit, but got to keep the protein up. So anyways, I think when you guys are like goal setting this year, I think it's important to remember like, okay, what are you going to say no to?
Yeah.
It's easy to be like, hey, I'm going to bring on this thing and then second thing and third thing. I'm going to do all this stuff. But it's like, well, where are you going to find the time? We all only have 24 hours in a 24-hour period. And so you got to find out what doesn't serve you, what is not making you money, what is not working, what is not making you happy, and eliminate some of those things. And so this year, the theme for me is like saying no and just being upfront. I think one thing that I was not good with last year or the year before would be, because I always want to I'm a people pleaser. I always want to make everyone happy. So I'm like, someone's like, oh yeah, you want to come out to my event? I'm like, yeah, let's do it. And then I'm like, it gets like a couple days out. I'm like, wait, I don't have the time for this, and then I end up saying no. But it's like, no, I just got to say no out the gate.
Yeah.
No,
for sure. I get kind of swept up in that too. So a couple of my girlfriends and I, we always do like a word for the year. I have some goals too that I've set, like, with work and personal and fitness. But we always try to think about like kind of one word to focus on. And I haven't even told them this yet, but I think my word is going to be alignment / like aligned. Because I kind of in the same way, like sometimes I feel like I'm like very go with the flow and say yes. And it's good to be like that to a certain extent, but I really want to focus on things that are like aligned with my goals, aligned with like who I am, my values, and like who I want to be. So I'm really going to focus on that. And like you said, not just say yes to everything just because you get the invite, because then it just gets too chaotic, too overwhelming. So just really focusing on what's like aligned with where I want to go and my goals is like really going to be, I think, my theme for this year.
Will you be spending less time with certain people and more time with a different crowd this year?
I think so. Yeah. I think it'll naturally happen.
When you take like extended breaks from drinking, it will naturally happen.
Yeah.
One thing I noticed was like the folks that I would hang out with when I was drinking, like when I was not drinking, I didn't have any interest to hang out with them.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's weird.
Yeah. So we'll see. I think it'll naturally happen. I still want to like golf and hike and stay active. And I think, some of my friends will be like down to do that. And I think, some of them are already kind of on that wavelength too. So yeah, I think it'll be kind of a natural thing. We'll see.
No, that's good. And then business wise, obviously, we got some good rocks and targets that we want to achieve this year. We're refinancing 4 hotels this year, starting with the first one, Black Sands Inn. We just moved forward with an LOI with a perm debt lender. So excited for that. Refi 3 more deals. We're buying underperforming assets and forcing a lot of value, a lot of appreciation. And so I want to add 2 more deals to the fund this year, if we can find the right deals that are aligned. Mm-hmm. Speaking of alignment, but that's California coastal. We like beachfront, waterfront. We like great locations. I think for me, if we can add 2 more deals to the fund this year, that will make a total of 6 hotels in the fund. I think that will be a big win. And then as we look forward to the next, few years, I think Airbnb regulations are going to continue to tighten. I think the rate environment will continue to equilibrate, and we'll continue to see rate cuts throughout this year and next year, and we'll see. But I'm excited for it, and I think, in order to bring on a couple more hotels, I think that we're going to have to get better in a lot of areas, and a lot of growth and improvement is definitely on the books for this year, and it all starts with me. And it all starts with, just getting very clear on what's needed to happen, but more importantly, saying no to a lot of the distractions, because I feel like as we grow as entrepreneurs, as we grow as individuals, whatever your thing is that you're into, there's always going to be more and more opportunities that you're throwing away. And as you grow, the opportunities get better and the distractions get better. And so you got to learn to say no to bigger and bigger distractions and bigger opportunities in order to stay laser focused and to actually grow. I mean, I see so many people jump into certain things, and then 3 months later they are on to the next opportunity. And
shiny
then 3 months later,
object syndrome.
Shiny object syndrome, yes. And so this game is about saying no. And I think, if you guys are goal setting this year, the important thing is, what are you going to eliminate from your calendar? I know for me personally, there's just a lot of things that no longer serve me. That I'm going to say no to. For example, before I got into real estate 5-6 years ago, I used to love playing fantasy football. Now I don't play anymore.
Yeah.
It's
a time suck.
It's a time suck. I don't have interest in it anymore. Now I'm playing real life fantasy football.
Yeah.
So
yep.
Anyways, I think that concludes this episode of the Saturday edition. Alex Johnson, happy 2025
Happy
New Year. I'm so excited. She's our Director of Investor Relations. I'm Rich Summers. Listeners, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.